Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, Dan.
Dallin, you're so sad.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, dude.
Yeah? What's going on, buddy? Tell me. You get home okay?
Yeah, everything's cool. Nothing's wrong.
Everything's normal. The chat saying the people will never move.
Oh. Why's chat gotta bring it up too, man?
Chat went in hard right away. They're like, "Hey, Dallin, remember?"
I
remember. It was just days ago. We remember all too well.
I remember. It was less than a week ago, and my life changed forever, Dan.
Yeah, man. You were beyond certain it was happening.
I feel like I was like 90%, maybe not beyond 100%, but I was definitely like 90%. Okay. And it didn't happen, Dan.
Yeah,
it didn't happen.
It definitely did not happen.
I have a whole 26, 27-minute video tomorrow coming on that, but...
Oh, do you?
Let's just say that, I mean, we could talk about it as much as we want. Someone caught me on my way out of the parks panel. It was like, don't worry, it's still happening. And I told them very politely, yet firmly, I said, you can't tell me this anymore. I have to either have hope or no hope, but I'm choosing to have no hope now because it hurts less when they don't announce it.
Yeah, I'm gonna lessen all of my expectations so that woe won't befall me.
How about we start on day one though? Instead of picking up right from the parks panel, everyone, welcome to Foolish Mortals. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, this is gonna be a good one. We're gonna talk about our week. We had our pre-D23 show. It should be 2-ish weeks ago, and then we were gonna do a live one, and we were both so incredibly busy the entire time. At least I was. Deanne was probably reclining, sipping a couple punches, relaxing with Figment.
Hey, how dare you, sir? If we were to have gone live, we would have been swarmed. And we wouldn't have been able to do anything, because every 10 feet that we walked, Dallin and I were stopped by another one of you guys, and it was really fun.
Oh, you guys are really so great. Oh, I met so many foolish mortals at the panel, at the convention, everything.
So many mortals.
Everyone was so nice because I always ask them, do you watch Foolish Mortals? And 80% of the people who stopped us said yes. So I'm glad you guys enjoy the stuff.
And we're choosing to believe you. We're choosing to believe
you don't have to say yes, but the fact that you did really means a lot to me.
Yeah, it was great. Okay. Let's talk about day one, because you went to the Legends panel and you saw Bobby C. Tell me about what was it like to be in the room?
Was that the only panel he was at? I believe it was the only panel.
I think so. Yeah.
Old Bobby Chapes was at the Legends panel, and the Legends panel was a lot of fun. Lots of great people there, lots of fun stuff to watch and see. But at the very beginning, they opened with this sort of performance, and it was really well done. And after the performance, the lady came over the loudspeaker, said, "Everyone, welcome the Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company, Robert Chapek." And I'd say about maybe 30% of the room was booing, probably another 40% clapping very lightly, and then the rest of everyone was just kind of not doing anything.
That's incredible.
As soon as he came out, they bumped the music up, and old Bobby Chapes was like, "Let's give a hand to that performance. Weren't they wonderful?" And everyone's like, "Okay, yeah, they were pretty good." So that's how he sort of played it off.
Yeah, that's so great.
Immediately was like, "Those guys were great, weren't they?" And it's like, they were great. They were great.
You know what? I have to honestly say that when you're up on a stage like that, the chaos of your monitors, of the lighting, of just the environment, I doubt he even heard it. I'm sure he probably saw it on social media later, but I doubt he heard it because it's just so much noise when you're up top.
Especially being on stage and stuff, yeah. Having been on stage before, you don't really hear the audience as much as you think you would from the audience, but yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, it's a different beast. But yeah, everyone was there. We had old Patrick Dempsey. Apparently people call him McDreamy. I don't get that reference. We had Grey's Anatomy, which is essentially I've heard it's described as One Piece for middle-aged white women. We had the Frozen gang. We
Wait,
had
Grey's Anatomy is described as One Piece for basic white ladies.
middle-aged white ladies, yeah, because apparently there's like there's 1,000 odd episodes, and Dan, if there's like over 10 seasons and 1,000 odd episodes, they set out to tell a specific story, and the passion is still there 100% because they need to tell this story, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely Grey's Anatomy. That's exactly how I would describe Grey's Anatomy.
You can tell the passion is still just as much as it was in season 1. Season 23
Ellen
is
Pompeo
just so
held out just long enough to become a Disney legend, and then she left the show.
She was great, though. Ellen Pompeo was really nice. Yeah, the Frozen cast, Idina, Kristen, Jonathan, and Josh, we're all on first-name basis, so I can call them that.
Right, yeah.
And then Imagineers were there. I can't remember their names. There was one. It's on the tip of my tongue. He was buying up all the land for Walt Disney World secretively. Secretively under the shell companies. He was the guy sort of responsible for acquiring all the Orlando land for Walt Disney World.
What were those shell companies called?
I couldn't tell you. I feel like they'd show some pictures of some. There was one of those like
strange
Echelon.
name for a company.
Yeah,
couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. It's like, oh, there's nothing secretive going on here.
What do you do? Where do you work? I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
Interesting. What do you do there?
Couldn't tell you about that. Couldn't tell you.
Could I come to visit where you work sometime?
You could. Couldn't tell you though.
Couldn't tell you though. Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. Bobby Chapes was there. Everyone was taking pictures with him. Oh, everyone on stage was taking pictures with him. I
got a picture with Josh D'Amaro. Did you?
With Joshy D. I did not. I only got to see him at the Parks panel, but you did get featured on old Zachy Ridley's.
Yeah,
we have nicknames for everyone here.
Yeah, old Zachy Ridley.
Old Zachy
usually, our nickname structure usually is just we put an O in front of it and then Y's on the end of everything else.
And then we shorten their last name.
Old Bobby Chaps.
Old Bobby Chapes.
Old Zachy Rids. Old Joshy D.
Joshy
D.
Joshy Morrow.
Old Mikey Eyes.
Mikey Eyes.
Yeah, old Mikey Eyes. Bobby Eggs. Bobby Iges.
Bobby Iges.
Yep.
Bobby Iges. Who else was there?
Old Mickey Mo was there.
Mickey Mose.
Mickey Mose was there. Minnie Mose was there too. She was wearing pants at the
old Dottie Duck. Goofs, yep. We call him. Mm-hmm. They were all there.
Yeah, we just call him Goofy Goofs.
Goofy Goose, yeah.
Because his name already has a Y at the end of it, so it works. Yeah, it just works in the name.
We just have to add in a little extra touch. So what were you doing day one, Dan? What was your plan of attack?
I went to the worst panel I've ever been to.
My God,
dude, I just uploaded the folder to D20 to my Dropbox so I can send it to you so you can like watch all the clips. Because there's streams of stuff. I don't know where I would love to see the streams of the park panel and stuff. I don't know where the streams are. Day 3 of D23 on Disney Plus. Gone. It didn't even happen. Yeah. It never even came to be.
Why do you think that? Do you think they're that ashamed of the parks panel, or do you think they just didn't? They just decided not to do it? Because I don't think they would be. I think
that no one is paying attention is what it is. I think that it was likely. I feel like it was likely edited and made, and then either got hung up in like a edit pass, and then someone went on vacation, or it just missed the deadline to get posted, or something. I don't know. It's probably the stupidest reason you could possibly imagine, and it has nothing to do with they don't respect parks. No,
right? No, I don't think so. I think they're proud of what they did with the parks panel. We'll get to that in a second. But day one.
I know why. Jordan Fisher was at Disneyland. You saw him.
I saw him. I said hello. I said I love Happily Ever After. He said I know, me too. I'm so glad it's coming back. And that was the extent of our
you had one chance to shoot your shot with Jordan Fisher, and you're like, hello, I like Happily Ever After, just like everyone else here. Well, like friendship, shoot your shot. You could have been like, hey man, I really liked you or like, hey man,
do you like the SEA because did you go to
exactly. Be like, hey man, don't you think there should be a black singer in the SEA? And Jordan Fisher be like, yeah, I do think there should be, you had your shot, man, to get in with Jordy Fish.
So here's the thing though, is I was sitting right outside Tropical Hideaway. You guys were sitting on a very broken Splash Mountain.
We were, yeah.
And I was
Check my
not on-
TikTok. I got a great talk.
I was not on a beef stick, and Jordan Fisher ran by, and I had to make myself not look like a complete monster for 3 seconds so I could say hi. So it was a very quick interaction.
Was he also ordering from Bengal Bash or whatever it's called?
As far as I could
Bengal
tell,
Barbecue?
he was walking from the Jungle Cruise to a backstage area behind Tropical Hideaway. He walked from the Jungle Cruise queue out past Tropical Hideaway into Tropical Hideaway, and then he disappeared. So I'm assuming they took him backstage.
Yeah. Got to get Jordy backstage. Jordy.
Let's talk
old Jordy Fish.
Old Jordy Fish.
Yeah, old Jordy Fish.
Yeah, that's what we call him, old Jordy Fish around here. I know. I've spoke with him personally.
We go back though. We're allowed to call him that. We go.
Yeah,
back.
we sure do. We go back.
I can't believe I can't. So like, and was he in movement or like he was like standing still when you talked to him?
Actively in movement, being escorted by a plaid. Yeah.
And so you just did like a merging lane. You just kind of like oh, and you walk next to him.
Yep.
You're like, hey, I like happily after. He's like, yeah, man, everyone says that to me. Thanks.
Bring something new to the conversation next time, maybe.
Aren't you? Who are you? You're like, who am I?
Hey, man, you looked really awkward in that flash photo they took of you when you came onto the Flash show. What's up with that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I didn't really like you in the Flash.
That would have been a more memorable, because you know what? When I met Joshy,
stuck out in his mind for
when
sure.
I met Joshy D, Joshy D's, you can't say Joshy D's without the chat's gonna lose their mind with that. When I met Joshy D's, he was also actively moving, but I said I just pinned him down. I was like, hey man, can I get a picture? Because like one or two people where like everyone was just looking around or at their phone. Someone was really paying attention to who's around them.
Right.
And so like two people got a picture with Joshy D's, and I was like, hey, can I get a picture with you, Joshy D's? And he's like, yeah, man. And so he turned around. I fumbled. I got like a fuzzy selfie. Deleted that one. I don't have that. So the record I can't show. I could recover it from my deleted.
You should. A
photos.
fuzzy selfie is always more fun because it's just pure chaos. I love
it's chaos. Yeah, of course.
It gives away the feelings you were feeling at the time.
But I was able to hold him long enough to get a solid self, and here's how I did it. I looked at him and was like, hey man, thanks for as soon as he turned around and I got the fuzzy selfie and the selfie didn't work, I immediately was like, you're so handsome. And he's like, what? And then as I was taking the second selfie, I was like, hey man, thanks for bringing handsome back to the parks. And he was like, you're welcome. And then walked away. It was so great.
He didn't say, oh, well, thank you for the compliment. He said, yeah, I know. You're welcome.
Yeah, he's like, I know. You're welcome. I love that.
For all the guff the parks gets, rightfully so sometimes, and obviously Chapek is in charge of the company. Tomorrow's in charge of the parks right now, so he obviously bears a little bit of the brunt. But during the panel, and just from what I hear people talk about him, I hate to be the person riding Disney right now, but man, Tomorrow seems like such a good guy, man. He seems like such a fan.
He does. He's really they're really grooming him up to be the next like big face of things. And because he's just a good orator. He's got what you've got and what I've got. Like, you know, he can just like roll into a thing and just like get the ball, you know, you just keep you can hold attention. Maybe, and that's something. Yeah. You know, like Bob Chapek comes up on stage and he just looks like your angry uncle, you know?
Honestly, why don't they just do what they used to do during the old days? You know, have the creative guy, have the business guy. You have your Walt, you have your Roy, you have your Frank Wells, you have your Michael Eisner. Put Tomorrow up there with Chapek. Have them both manage different aspects of the company. You know, I don't know why.
Those were, you know, that is actually it's interesting you say that, because like the glory days. So like when we look at Disney, we're like, oh, they did this big thing or they did this big thing. Usually, there's like a robust team that's like. You know, of like established, and I don't really feel like we have like an Imagineers Avengers right now. We don't we don't have that. We don't have like a Disney corporate Avengers, like where there's like, you know, or like a fellowship of Disney.
The fellowship of corporate.
And my axe, you know, that we don't have that going on right now.
Yeah, it's because like you used to have. The first generation, you had your Rolly Crumps, you had your Claude Coates, you had your Exatensios, your Mark Davises. Now, a little later on, you had your Tony Baxters, your Joe Rohdes. You know, now we're kind of moving into the like, you have your Zach Ridleys, you have your who else? Your Trowbridges. Who else though? Who else aside from that?
I feel like don't get me wrong. I feel like Zach is a really personable guy. He but like what has he done?
New Epcot, man. That's all you need to do for me.
What
That's
about
it.
New Epcot? We didn't do New Epcot. It's still not going to be done for another 2 years. And we're like talking to him about like, oh man, everything you're doing is so lovely. He was a really sweet guy. I met him. I got a cool picture with him.
Everything I've seen from New Epcot and everything I've experienced from New Epcot, we're talking Cosmic Rewind Connections, the new entranceway, the points of light on Spaceship Earth.
Okay.
All of that is so good. And so, I mean, if
it is
obviously
good, but I feel like half of New Epcot is just old Epcot brought forward, and like it's I don't know, like is Cosmic Rewind his Expedition Everest? Because I need to have a conversation with him then, because like it's
True.
just as broke, but it doesn't have an animatronic. I
know your qualms with Cosmic Rewind. We talked about that at nauseam.
Yeah. But but the Epcot eatery is good, and like the acrylic whatevers are fine, and that's all great, I guess.
Yeah. I just can't. I'm just waiting for them to finally finish the backside of Spaceship Earth, the eighth wonder of the world, the ninth wonder of the world, the backside of Spaceship Earth, and then eventually Spaceship Earth. We'll talk about that at the parks panel because I'm day 2. Actually, no. First, SEA panel, Dan. You were there.
Okay.
I was not there. It seems like it was a good thing or maybe I should have been there. Maybe they needed someone there to guide them through this.
Dude, if you would have been there, you would have lost your mind. You would have lost your mind, and you would have.
I don't know if my soul wouldn't have been able to handle it because I already lost my mind in a good way and a bad way at the parks panel. So tell us about that. I would have been what?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, you just would have been like the first 30 minutes, like you would have went there as like an SEA expert like you are.
Right.
And like you would have just been like, oh, whoever prepped this PowerPoint watched my videos. In fact, I'd be curious I'm going to send you all the PowerPoint pictures I took of.
Yeah.
You should I bet you'll probably find a screenshot from one of your videos on the PowerPoint, just because like it just felt so much like we just regurgitated the wiki, and it was just like, and like, we left and I was chatting and I was like, do they know who was there? Like,
right. Like,
I mean, imagine, I don't even know. Like, imagine like having like a Haunted Mansion lore panel and then like we all gather in and they're just like, all right, guys, let's talk about how the stretching room works. And we're like, we already know,
Yeah, come on. No, it's so interesting because I talked about this while I was there, like physically with people. It feels like Kevin Lively, he's Lively Land, he's on TikTok. Go follow him,
great.
Twitter. A great guy. He left Disney recently, but up until then, he was sort of the SEA Jungle Cruise lore guy for Imagineering. And it feels like they're just kind of scrambling right now that Kevin is gone. But I don't know if that's true or not, but I should have led the panel, Dan. I feel like I should have led the panel.
The panel was led by the author of the new SEA books. I don't feel like she was very well equipped. She should have just been in the panel. Right. And one of the two lead story Imagineers should have ran the thing. But like it just felt like they tasked an intern with putting together a PowerPoint. There was no script or anything. We got a video of like one of the Imagineers being like, "Here's all the SEA secrets in Disneyland," and I was like, "Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
that's why we're here."
I was expecting maybe something on the TV series they had planned, or maybe something they're adding to a different ride. But there's nothing new, and they talked a lot about the oars that like everyone knows about. It's very, I don't know.
Yeah,
feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
missed opportunities is the theme of D23 this year.
No, here's what it was, and I was talking about this. What it was Disney has all kinds of divisions, and they all were represented in all those panels in one way or another, in ways that you're not even like. In the ways that, and here's a way that Disney's corporate was represented at D23 without you even being remotely aware, is that Disney SEA panel was Disney Publishing. It was a book. It was a book push. It was just a book push. So Disney Publishing arranged and organized that. At the end of it, we got a pre-order card for the new SEA book. It was worthless because like the Disney Publishing has no information. You know, they were able to like secure a couple things, but like it was just a worthless. The hype and all of it was about the book, and I should have known because like the panel was like the author is going to talk about you know, and like and it's cool, but it's like, you know, I don't you know, I'm 35, I'm not reading young adult novels. Although I really need you to read it, Dallin. I need you to read these.
Do I have to, Dan?
Yeah, Dallin. If you want the respect of the community,
I guess that's
we'll
true.
read it together. Want to do a book? We can do a book club.
We'll do a foolish book club. How's that sound? Foolish readers.
Yeah. Do we have any readers in the audience? Let us know in the in the
chat
comments or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So SCA panel was worthless, dude. It was
opportunity
just
advertisement for the book. Got it. Day 2, I went to the television panel solely for the Percy Jackson trailer, which was wonderful. And then they were showing a bunch of cool stuff. Is Santa Claus
007 in this new one?
Bond in Percy Jackson. That's right. Horse Bond. No,
Horse Bond was in the movie. Are they bringing is it connected to the movie?
No. This is just a reboot. So.
Oh, we're rebooting it. Okay.
Yeah, reboot.
We'll miss you, Horse Bond. We're
gonna miss you, Horse Bond. Who else was in there? Sean Bean. Boromir was in Percy Jackson.
Ooh, Boromir. I love that.
Yeah, Boromir was in there. What did you do day 2?
We saw Walt's plane.
That was a room in the conventions. Like
it was
Kevin Perjurer from Defunctland shared a lot of thoughts on the plane, and he was completely right with all of that. It just feels like it was cool, but we couldn't look into the plane. It was all completely blacked out.
Yeah, well, no, it was just a showpiece. It was just like a prop for photos. It's literally all it was. And if they wanted my respect, they would have had 2 backlot tour vehicles in the same room.
Oh, can you imagine?
For us to like get in and like take selfies in the backlot vehicle, like we were like, you know what I mean? Like if they wanted any of my respect, an ounce of it, even an ounce, they would have had just one of the vehicles there. You know,
right?
Because and the other thing is like I've seen this freaking plane 12.5 times.
Yeah.
And every time I saw it, I was just like, yeah, I got here on one. You know,
like I flew on a plane
it's not even like it's like painted cool or anything. It's just it's just like getting an iced coffee, you know, at Dunkin' Donuts. It's just it's what it is. You know, it's just a plane.
Yeah, it wasn't lame. It was neat. It was a cool plane. It was a private jet. The cooler stuff, I think, was the artifacts they had sitting around it. You had like one of Walt's suits. You had the chair and some curtains. You had some artifacts from there. The plane itself, was that like their headline this year? Was that like their big thing where they're like, come see Walt's plane?
Yeah, I feel like it. You know, and I don't know. I feel like people were excited, I guess.
It was, like I said, it was cool. It just was. It let me down.
No. It was.
I don't know if I say cool. It was
cool.
Neat. It was neat.
Neat. Yeah, there we go.
Like, oh, neat.
Yeah. Like a bookstore at a church.
Yeah. It really did feel like it did. Speaking of churches, it felt like you were walking into a chapel when you were going to that Walt plane.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, a plane is just a giant crucifix. So I mean, it really was. That was Jesus'
the crucifix
plane.
That holds the canonical member of SEA, Jesus of Nazareth.
Jesus H. Christ. Yep.
Yes, he's in the SEA.
Messiah and SEA member.
Another Defunctland original. We'll have to talk to him about that. But yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, you walk into the plane room and it's like this soft blue light emanating from the roof, and it was very quiet, you know, and they had soft music playing.
We met lots of celebrities. We met Paging Mr. Morrow,
biggest celebrity we met. Tim Tracker. We met Tim Tracker, not at D23.
Yeah, we didn't
at Disneyland.
His assistant, his filmer, knew you. Who knew you?
It was so awkward. So I was gonna sort of like play a prank, a little bit of a cheeky little prank on him, where we were just right behind him in line for Pirates, and I was like, you know, people probably stop him all the time. We're like, hey, we love your videos. We absolutely love your channel. I was like, I should stop him and be like, hey, excuse me. I absolutely love your shirt. Because he was wearing a Muppets Haunted Mansion shirt. It'd be like, amazing shirt. And so I did that, and his friend was like talking to him a little bit. So I feel it didn't play off well. So we had to go back and we chatted. Wonderful man.
Oh, we met Jay Craig in the chat.
Jay Craig, yes,
was opening for Duran Duran.
I
and
feel
like,
so bad. Well, I got hounded on the train because of you afterwards.
Oh yeah, Craig, when you left, it was amazing.
Everyone piled onto me. I had so much to do that night, so I was like, no, I can't go to a Duran Duran concert. All right, I watched. I love Hungry Like the Wolf, but I had to deny. Unfortunately, I would.
Craig was opening for Duran Duran, which
he was
legit,
opening for
dude.
Duran
Congrats.
Duran, and he was like, "Do you want to come
so
to the concert
cool.
tonight?" And I said, "I would love to." But unfortunately, I must decline. And then as soon as he left and the train went back, everyone around us was like,
everyone did. You idiot! Duran Duran! Well, I should clarify. Everyone under the age of 35 could not be bothered, Craig. I just want to throw that out there. But all of those aging Gen Xers and some of the boomers in the back were like, you lunatic!
They wanted to wring my neck. It was a memory forever. And Dan was sitting right next to me the whole time. It was good.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Great meeting you.
But
though.
You were so
big.
I was, and I want to just say apologies to Craig, but also to validate Dallin here. It was the most exhausting 3 days of my entire life.
We were talking about this before I went on. We were going to do a live stream from there, but Dan also, we had no time. It was literally, I would wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., sometimes 6:30 a.m., get to the convention center, get in line for a panel, wait for that panel, or go to the show floor. Yeah, close out that panel, wait until like 3 or 4, and then I would go to the park to get footage and film park stuff until maybe like 10 or 11, maybe midnight, and then go back to the hotel, repeat for 3 days. I slept maybe 12 hours the whole time. It was great. I had a fun time.
Yeah, I slept a good deal.
I'm not the kind of person who's like, I like to brag about how little I sleep. It was miserable. Okay, don't do what I did.
You just literally did that, though. You just literally bragged about how little you slept.
Well, yeah, but also don't do it. That's me bragging and sending a warning.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Not as we do. Yep. So that was day 2. Dan, your day 2. You went to the Muppets Christmas Carol panel.
I did. That was so much fun. I was literally filled with joy. Nina West is a joy. She's one of my favorite drag queens.
She's amazing. That was the masquerade night where we went to the masquerade as well.
Yes, the masquerade. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. My sunglasses were stolen at the Muppets Christmas panel.
Oh, wonderful.
So if you or anyone you know works for Heat Wave or any surf shop that gets a good Heat Wave discount, I love those sunglasses. They're brand new. So let me know if you're a sunglass dude. Hit me up. Also, if you like hats, because I would love to have a good hat guy.
I might be able to hook you up with some sunglasses. Well, I have a Tron visor. Would that work? It's not really Heat Wave, but it kind of gets the same thing done.
Like the guy from Star Trek? Like
the guy from Star Trek. I wear it in all my videos where I talk about Tron. It's literally it's transparent, like sunglasses. The whole thing is made out of it. Yeah,
cool.
I could grab it, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
No,
it's pretty futuristic.
It's okay. Yeah. I get it. I can see it. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see the Muppets panel was so great. At a certain point in the panel, I was sitting like front row on the side, so I got like a great view of the screen. It was really awesome. At a certain point in the panel, I don't know if anyone was watching it, Brian Henson goes on at length about like this missing deleted scene from Muppets Christmas Carol, When Love Is Gone.
Yeah. It's
a song that Michael Caine sings. And oh my God, he neurodivergent, he's just lost. He just gets lost in the story where he's talking about, he like takes us through like frame rates and like
what?
Like
that's awesome though.
It was like honest to God, it was like an 8-minute rant, and at the end of it, and then for the rest of the night, whenever Brian would speak, Dave Gold would be like, yeah, and Brian, how can you also tell us about the frame rates?
He's clowning on him for the frame rates.
Oh my God, Dave Gold was such a clown. But they were all there. It was really great. I had a really wonderful time. It's always so awesome. Good to see the Muppets. And then they brought the whole cast out to do like a little number with Nina West.
I saw.
And they framed it up.
Yeah.
So for us in the audience, we got to just be like behind the camera and see how they were operating. It was a really cool moment. It was really cool.
That's so cool. You know, I have a working theory on why they chose Muppets Christmas Carol specifically for this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So for Disneyland, they did the Christmas
30th
party.
anniversary is this year, you mean?
Well, yeah, maybe I didn't know that, but yeah. they had those Muppets ready to go, the costumes and everything, because they had them at Disneyland for Christmas party. If you remember that.
Oh yeah, we did. And honest to God, those were 1,000% the puppets from the parks.
Oh yeah. I mean, they looked really good. So
when there's a couple companies that build the Muppets now, it kind of bounces around. Disney contracts them out, but when they build those sets of Muppets for park parades and stuff like that, for instance, when we had like the volunteers,
right.
or, that whole thing where you could earn a day in the park, and it was hosted by the Muppets. And then like whenever like there were days where you could go to the park as a volunteers or whatever. And there was a parade that would be led by Kermit and Piggy on like a little thing, on one of the Main Street vehicles. That Kermit and Piggy were then recycled regularly into press events like at the El Capitan, when the Muppet movie came out, when the second Muppet movie came out. So like when they build a set for the parks, they become promotional sets that just get moved around all the time. So
that's actually kind of smart. That's very similar to what Disney used to do with the parade floats back in the day. They used to just recycle them for other things.
I'm thinking about Dallin, can I give you a video idea I'm thinking about?
Let's do it.
I'm thinking about, I know, like people, guys, it's Foolish Mortals. We still got 30 minutes. We have plenty of time.
Come on. Yeah, we got plenty of time.
I want to do I want to track the history of that mirrored castle float. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. The, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Rob.
It's not in Festival of Fantasy, but it was in one of the cavalcades, I believe, right?
Yeah. It's like this, like princess. Rob calls it the Yadro float.
Yadro.
I've never heard the phrase Yadro, but I guess it's like another name for tchotchke, like beautiful statues, and like you put them in mirrored cabinets. I don't know, but I'd like to do a history. I want to just do a full history, like find and just track it, and every time it's used. I wonder if people would think that's interesting.
I think that's interesting because that's a very. It's a very infamous. I mean, it's generic castle. You put the princesses on there. You call it a day.
Yeah. So yeah, the float tracking. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
I'll say, just wait for my next video after tomorrow's. Dan, I told you while I was at Disney, I showed you my notes for it.
Dude, this one's so weird. This one's so weird. Can I just sit in the background and laugh as you record it?
Wait, stay tuned for that. But all right. Let's just get into the most rant-filled part of this podcast. Let's go ahead and move on. Actually, do we want to talk about the masquerade, or do we want to just move ahead? Nina West E23 weekend as like her personal excuse to just go crazy with all of her love for Disney, which I respect completely.
Yeah, I was so envious of her. It's like I want her life so badly. But
she hosted the masquerade, yeah.
Yeah, but just like, she just really knows what she is and what she's doing, and I have a lot of respect for her. She's really amazing. Yeah.
Day 3?
Did you do any other panels?
No, I
did
just did the one a day. I did the one a day.
Should we talk about the Parks booth?
Unless you count the masquerade as a panel, because I did that one with you. That was the day 2.
That one was so much fun, wasn't it?
I loved the masquerade. Was amazing. All of those outfits, every one of them deserved to win. They were all so good. I know a lot of people who were up there apparently watch our stuff too. There was a gummy bear costume. Who was talking about it.
A fan of ours. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. Like the amount of talent. And
I know.
I would enter
more
those
than
things. I would just
sure.
pay someone else to make the costume for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like if anyone's like a high end costume maker and they just need a fat guy to like enter competitions wearing your suit.
You got your guy right here, or an extremely skinny guy.
Call me. You might have a hard time getting through because Yellow Shoes might call. And
they're
like,
always
if
calling
you try
us.
to call me, that'll probably be the exact time Yellow Shoes calls. So if I don't answer, I'll call you back.
They're always calling us.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying before I got us?
Any other panels? The Parks booth. You want to talk about the Parks booth?
Yes, the Wonderful World of Dreams, which I was very excited for beforehand, and actually during. I thought it was all right. I was a little let down at the Splash Mountain model. It looks fine. I talk about it in my video tomorrow. I'm going to say that a lot because it's my reactions to the Parks panel and the parks specifically. But they're taking the tree stump off the top of Chickapin Hill, Splash Mountain. And I'm okay with that. I don't care that the tree's gone. I just think it needs something. It needs something up there to sort of draw you towards it. Because right now it really just looks like Splash Hill without that tree on it. Yeah.
What's so interesting is that they did this weird thing where they announced it originally, did throw the concept art out there with no forethought. And so they put Mama Odie's tree on top of the hill.
And even go ahead.
Now they have a model and they have some renderings of it like in daytime and nighttime. And
Which
when
looks
it switches
great,
to
by the way.
looks so good. But when they switch it to nighttime, it very distinctly has Mama Odie's tree going on in the laughing place, like in place of the laughing place. And so now I have to wonder if they didn't they shot their shot too fast because like they're like, oh no, mom, that wouldn't make sense if Mama Odie's tree is like above and behind and you're coming up underneath it, but you're in the but
you're already
Yeah, and so I'm sure that I'm sure that Mama Odie's tree might be like in an outdoor section on the back, like as you're coming around it or something.
Sure.
Because there's all those back. But what I'm fascinated by, and what I think, and I like, it's going to take like 15 years for us to find out this information, but there are two completely different rides: Disneyland and Disney World.
Yes, they are, yeah.
And so they have to build. It's not like building two Galaxy's Edges, like that are just clones of each other.
Copy, yeah.
Yeah, like so Tiana's like the Tiana Bayou Adventure's got a split, and they're gonna have to be themed differently in different ways.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how they do that.
It's so weird, yeah, because in Disney World, this is in Frontierland. In Disneyland, it's going to be part of New Orleans Square. It's currently in Critter Country, but the OC Register, which is like, it's essentially just official Disney news. They get it right from Disney, is that it's going to be incorporated into New Orleans Square.
That's going to be so cool. Can you imagine like the little parades they'll be able to do, like little because they'll be able to march up and down, back and forth. Not like parades, but like marching bands, like some Mardi Gras stuff.
Hopefully, I would love to see that. Actually,
it's going to be fantastic.
I'm back to the tree. It's I get why they took it off. You look at that concept art, and I was there with you, this past weekend, and I was looking up at that tree, like trying to like get a gauge of like what's going. After I'd seen the model, I was like, there is no way, judging by that concept art, that tree wouldn't be damaged within like a couple years, because that stump that they were going to turn into Mama Odie's tree is huge. It's already way up in the air.
Interesting. Yeah, they did kind of just put the canopy on the stump. In that original concept art, right?
It would make the Splash Mountain like area even bigger and taller. It would be, and it would look amazing. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't know how well that would hold up against, because it's literally just hanging off of this stump.
What are you talking about? Need I remind you? Animal Kingdom. We built a tree like 25 years ago, and it still looks as good as the day it was grown.
I think, like I said, if they wanted to, they could do it. I think they just played it safe, whether that be budget cuts or different story directions, because originally this was going to be a Mardi Gras celebration, where Tiana and her friends are getting ready for Mardi Gras. Then they changed it to being a Tabasco salt mine, where Tiana's a corporate owner of a company, of an employee-owned business. They had to make they had to let you know this is an employee-owned business. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
I talked to Tiana, and she's like, "Yeah, Mama's coming. She's coming down. She's gonna open up her dress shop. I'm gonna have my beignets.
The sign's already there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm like, and now I wonder, is it just gonna be the downtown Disney dress shop, or do you think that they're gonna like do like some inspired designs and stuff?
I think, well, it's a gumbo kitchen / dress shop, so both. I think it.
Where is that going? The Hungry Bear?
It's going right next to the Blue Bayou, back in those back streets. You didn't see it when we passed it, but it was there. Near the door to Club 33, a little bit further in.
Her restaurant, her beignet restaurant is just going to be the area where we got beignets, where we got some bennies.
No, I don't think those beignets. I don't think it's going to sell bennies. I think it's going to be just gumbo and like maybe some other stuff.
Is she going to take over the gumbo thing like by the pirates?
They say Royal Street already does that. I don't know what their plan is. I think we'll have to wait for more, because honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, here they are releasing concept art for the rides, and we just want to know where we can eat.
Yeah, it's New Orleans Square. It's the best land at Disneyland. They got the palm frites, they got the bennies, they got the mint juleps. All right, they got the Blue Bayou Cafe Orleans, Royal Street Veranda. I can't even explain how good the food in New Orleans Square is. That's what matters.
Ooh, I just realized that we might have like a whole Shadow Man scene. And,
I think so.
And the ride, yeah. Well, yeah, like in the they've got dark ride elements in both Splash Mountains.
Yeah.
So I would love to see like a like the Laughing Place finale being like a Dr. Facilier kind of like battle kind of like finale where you get all the way up there, where they banish him, where he like has this big cool thing and you break through it and like you're in like you're, because shouldn't Mama Odie's tree technically be down where you land, where the boat is, maybe? Or no, that'll be like Riverfront, right?
Looking into the model, it has those glowing rainbow bottles, which are part of Mama Odie's tree in the movie for that final drop. And they go through very, very specific lengths to tell you that this takes place after the movie. And so that's why the story is completely different. But I mean, Dr. Facilier, he's a voodoo guy. Who's saying he can't come back as like the shadow that he has in the movie or a ghost?
Right.
Like he can show up. I don't know why people are taking this model as like a confirmation
that there might not be a villain.
No, I'm saying the Facilier will be in it, just not like as a, like, you know, an animatronic in a physical form. He'll be like the Shadow Man, you know.
Ooh, maybe he's the Q pre-show.
Yeah,
you know, like because there's all there's all that shadow play in like
the frog is like is rocking in his chair.
A surprising amount of shadow play in both regular Splash Mountains. So that would actually it's already set up, you know. So maybe he's like you've got friends on the other side, and keep both your hands in the vehicle
as you're getting launched up the
keep both your hands in the vehicle, or they might join me on the other side. You know,
I'm just worried they're gonna go overboard with screens. I'm okay with screens acting as like a backdrop, but I just hope that they don't fill in for characters, because
they'll do screens?
I saw Scott Gustin post a tweet the other day about like, here's a screen we're using it for the crocodile for the new Peter Pan ride. It is like, we might see this in the new Splash Mountain. I was like, absolutely not.
Tell me about this. I didn't see this. What is this? A crocodile screen?
Have you been on Alice in Disneyland since the refurb?
So they refurbed it. I didn't know. I haven't.
They do a little thing, a little trick, which is fine, I guess, where you go into a scene and there's a screen of Alice chasing the white rabbit. And as your ride vehicle turns, the screen perspective sort of like shifts with your ride vehicle, so it feels sort of 3D, but it's also still a screen.
Oh, interesting.
That's sort of what they are doing with.
They're going to put this underwater or something?
Not underwater, just maybe behind water or to the side of water. I don't want it, but they're just two completely freaking different rides, though. That's the thing. It's like I was just on Splash Mountain. Well, I didn't actually get to ride all of it. I got evac'd off of it. But like there are huge show scenes. Which is not bad. I do like getting evac'd off of Splash Mountain. Yeah.
Huge show scenes in Florida that aren't in Disney at all. Like what are we gonna like? Which segments. Is cool. Which is cool. Actually, I prefer that. Galaxy's Edge should have been different in both. Like there should have been a different smuggler's mission on both sides of the country,
and different scenes, and maybe Rise of the Resistance.
Right,
I totally
Rise should
agree.
have been somewhat different, like a different vehicle in the hangar, like different, like give me Admiral Akbar or something. I don't know, like just give me something.
They're doing that with Runaway Railway. Ours, I say ours. Like I've noticed that a lot last weekend. Is I said ours or like over here at Disneyland instead of like, because I go to both parks about equally often. I don't know why I refer to Disneyland as my home park, but I guess it kind of is.
Well, you were offhand Disneyland for a while, so I guess that's still part of the narrative.
Yeah.
I respect you keeping with the story, honestly.
Our Runaway Railway will have an extra or different scene, and it may be multi-level, so.
I hope that they would just replace the Daisy Conga. Although that's just
you don't like the Daisy Conga?
I don't like the Daisy Conga. I don't like the Daisy Conga. You do?
It's everyone's favorite part of that ride. It's so unexpected. People love it.
No, it's not everyone's favorite part of that ride. Everyone's favorite part of that ride is that final scene where like it transforms around you.
From the factory into the forest or into the park.
Yeah. Mickey almost gets smashed, and then Optimus is like, Autobots, maximize. Ooh, dude, you're good at making that sound.
Thank you. I've been practicing just for this
Wait, can you
podcast.
Give me a little more of it? Is that just as much as you can do, or can
That's
you do
about
the whole...
it. I can't really do it on command. It has to come naturally to me.
You can't transform on command? You're like Bumblebee at the beginning of the movie? Did you? Oh, that was good too.
This was all scripted.
Spit on your carpet?
This is, ladies and gentlemen, up until this point, this was all scripted. You had to spit out, and I spit into the spittoon that was there. Now we're off book. This is
you
all
have a spittoon?
Do you not?
No, I don't.
Get one, Dan. Get one.
I just swallow all my spit. I just want to keep myself hydrated.
Well, that's lame. That's kind of lame. Let's talk about what else at the parks.
Oh, the booth. It had a rainbow tunnel with five segments that had all of
an
the parks.
homage. Yeah.
I got a great selfie with Figment in it. I'm super excited.
It's really
and then we
good.
got into the Zootopia thing, which is
Dan, explain what the attraction for Zootopia is going to be, if you would. I don't know if it can.
Okay.
And how it wouldn't translate very well to an
it's
American
in Shanghai,
audience.
right? Well, we have to.
I believe so. Yes.
Dallin, I can't make half the jokes we were making. Because like I don't want to be like outlawed from certain countries. It's a cop ride. It's a cop ride.
You
it's so
assume
weird.
You enter through the Zootopia Police Department, assume the role of a police officer, board your police cruiser, and engage in a high-speed chase through the streets of Zootopia, which would not translate at all. They would not be able to do that.
Especially in an African-influenced theme park.
Or should they?
Yeah, could you imagine a cop ride in Africa land?
Come join the police force. Engage in a high-speed chase. These animals may or may not be guilty. I don't just chase them. Chase them.
Right. I feel like you are just asking for an active Black Lives Matters protest in the park.
Horrible idea. Horrible idea.
Because they're pitching it in that hold on. We'll get to the parks panel in a minute. So when you go down the path through the rainbow tunnel, there's these two windows that keep opening up and puppets keep appearing of Zootopia characters.
I love that.
And so I was like, actually knew one of the puppeteers. Hey, Chris. I was like, what is this? And we later got more information in the parks, but an Imagineer told me that it's going to be very much greatest moments in history with the Muppets, that the area that around the Zootopia ride is going to have windows and like, it's going to feel like in a live city, by the way, which is not how Galaxy's Edge feels at all. It's going to feel like in a live city where windows will open and like you'll see puppets and they'll lean out and they'll talk to each other and they'll have moments and they'll close the window. That is going to be, and that's going to happen all day long. All these like puppet characters are going to come in and out of all the wind. That sounds so cool.
It sounds
so
really cool.
It's and you're
like
also employing
so
puppeteers, really talented artists. And you're giving people an experience. People come to parks and they just get to like meet like static things that don't talk to them, don't get to see them talk. And it's like puppets in the parks are gold every time.
Always a good idea. Always a good idea. And I can't believe they got rid of Great Moments in History. Such a lovely show.
It's so expensive to do though.
Oh, really?
When you watch my Simpsons episode that comes out in like 2 hours, there's a segment where I'm like, I show some Simpsons costumes that they use pretty regularly in a couple promotional events.
Yeah.
When they did a thing called the Simpsons house, they like built a replica of the Simpsons house.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so they made new costumes for the Simpsons house, and it was in Arizona, and so brutal heat, brutal sun, and so these costumes, it's amazing. They reuse the costumes for like a decade. These house costumes, and you can tell which characters spent the most time outside because like Homer and Bart are practically white, like they've been sun bleached, and that's what happens to those Muppets. Like Sam Eagle up there in that little hole above the president's booth, he was up above Hall of Presidents. He like had his own little porthole. He starts blue, and within 3 months he's white. Those puppets just get sun bleached,
sad.
Completely sun bleached. They need a little if they had little awnings or something to protect them.
Put a little awning above it.
Yeah, but UV rays, man, just destroy stuff.
That's so sad. Yeah, that's why I have to triple coat everything in paint whenever they're building stuff for Walt Disney World. What else was there? There was Fantasy Springs, which looks amazing.
Really cool. Yep. Met Tom Corliss from WDWNT.
Oh, I saw him a couple of times. I don't think he knew who I was. Either that or he was actively avoiding me.
I also met Adam the Woo and complimented him.
Ooh.
Adam the Woo, and
Wonderful,
I complimented him on the work that Dan Bell does, just to see if he would react.
I love Dan Bell's work.
I was like, dude, I love your videos about dirty rooms, and he was just like, thanks.
Dirty rooms.
Oh my God, I love doing that. If you guys ever want to compliment me on something someone else does, please do. It's the best joke. I will understand what you're doing. Typically people don't, because I come up so authentically. It's like, man, because Adam the Woo knows Kenny, my producer. Like Kenny made a documentary about him. Like they live,
Right.
And oh my God. Anyway, so it made me laugh so much. But yeah, and I also met Fresh Baked.
Fresh baked, also wonderful. David is just the nicest person.
And Provost Park Pass.
Provost was there. Yep.
Park Facts or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Park Pass, yeah.
You turn the corner past all the Fantasy Springs stuff, and you saw the 4 ride vehicles. The Pirates ride vehicle, like the little Tinkerbell, is gorgeous.
It's so good.
Beautiful.
I believe it's gonna be a flat ride though, similar to maybe like
Pooh,
Maters or the Baymax, or I guess Swirling Saucers out there.
Oh, really?
I believe it's a flat ride. The pirate ship for the Peter Pan ride is gonna be a dark ride. I don't think so.
Does that ride vehicle type, like the Alien, Swirling Saucers, Baymax, Maters? Does that?
I mean, it does. Obviously, they have to
it's like
trademark it or whatever. But yeah, I don't. It's definitely got a name. I don't know what kind of name you would give it, but we can come up with one, right? Swirling. Yeah. It'll be like this swiveling
U-Haul trailer.
The U-Haul. I'm trying to think. It's gotta be like like if it's a U-Haul, it's gotta be a U-Haul, and the other word has to start with U. So it's like the twirling teacups or the undulating U-Haul, something like that. Undulating. That's a cool word.
Yeah, I can't. I'm the part of my brain that is good at alliteration and puns like that apparently is just out on vacation today. I can't think of a single funny name for those whippy thwings that because it's like a spring, right? It's like a big spring. Let us know in the chat if you've got any good suggestions.
Yeah, I'm looking at chat. Yeah.
Were Mary Poppins teacups supposed to be that? Or were they going to be a proper teacup ride?
Okay. So let's get into the parks panel. What do you say we hop in?
Let's hop in.
Let's do it. Yeah. So the Mary Poppins ride, according to a couple things that I've heard or leaked documents or what have you, blueprints, it was going to be a very highly themed flat ride. Flat ride, for those of you who don't know, being things like Dumbo, being things like Mater's Junkyard Jamboree / the Alien Swirling Saucers, teacups. Those are flat rides. Those very like outdoor, twirly, just kind of simple rides. Those are flat rides.
Yeah, I also heard that. And I heard that it was going to be in a very elegant, like kind of like British Bake Off kind of tent. Like it was like going to be this big outdoor British sort of like heightened Mary Pop, like from the paint, the watercolor. Like it was going to be very like heightened.
When they go onto the vase. Yeah, it was going to be essentially, I don't know if it was going to be teacups or if it was going to be a carousel, but it was going to be a flat ride. Imagine the carousel inside a dark ride environment, but you're just in that one room, and that's essentially what the Mary Poppins ride was going to be.
Call me crazy, but you could just give me supercalifragilisticexpialidocious a carousel with supercali horses,
right?
Like right off of that little, and like just something quiet and sweet and elegant. Like
that'd be the best for Mary
Poppins. That's what Epcot's
right
honestly missing, like in World Showcase, is like little beats like that. Like we could use 3 or 4 flat rides in Epcot to make it but we're getting there.
I think so. I think we should. So the parks panel opened up with the best announcement of the parks panel. Happily Ever After is returning to Walt Disney World, which I'm very, 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 very.
And maybe that's why we don't have a D23 Day 3, because Jordan Fisher was hosting those, and Ashley Tisdale or whatever the other singer is from that from Happily Ever After. Yeah. They were hosting them on D23, and like maybe they were at that panel, and then you saw they went to the parks or something. So like I guess they weren't around.
Maybe not.
Contractually,
so, man. The parks panel, Dan, in like one sentence, how would you describe the parks panel? I would say lacking, or like one word. My word would be lacking.
Passable, I guess would be my word.
Yeah.
It was like playing miniature golf, and getting like hitting par. Like there was just nothing impressive about the panel.
It was like Walt's playing fine, you know?
Yeah, but I should say that I got a couple cool announcements for me personally.
Oh yeah, tell us about that one, Dan.
Welcome to your first stream. We do read the chat, I promise.
Oh
guys.
Yeah, no, hi, hello, welcome.
We got a Mandalorian announcement.
I think that was
right
one of the
after
first
Happily
big
Ever
ones.
After.
Yeah, he's coming in November.
I had we hopped onto the reservations of somebody who let us in, like you. We got there at like 9.
Thank
at
you.
like 8:45.
You got there at 8:45. I guys got there at like 7 a.m. just
you
to
got
be
there, and
sure.
but I was only 10 rows away from you, which is so weird.
Yeah, I think it's
but
hilarious.
We got into the
was just so worried
reservation,
about not getting in.
and like, holy smokes, the panel started. Panel was 18 minutes in by the time I got seated, and I had a reservation, and
that stinks.
it was just a nightmare. But all I missed was the Happily Ever After performance.
Okay.
But that's my favorite. That's my favorite freaking. Well, Fantasmic's my favorite, but
Disneyland or Walt Disney World Fantasmic?
Is there even a question offhand? Disneyland.
There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be.
Exactly. There is no question. There is no question. And then we got Mando with Grogu, which is cool.
Yep. An animatronic. Is it an animatronic or is it a puppet?
That's the. I'm. Should I make a video, Dallin, about
You
D23?
should. You should.
No one's gonna watch it, but I will. I mean,
you could talk about the Hulk, who is also up there, who's apparently there like right now, or like starting tomorrow, or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I might have to ask a friend to go film some stuff. Will you get me some good B-roll of the Hulky when you're there next week?
I'll try. I'll try my best. I'll scout him out because I'm going again next week. Because I'm a very busy man and I love my wife and she misses Fantasmic. So we're gonna go see that.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah. So that Mando, the Grogu is I am going to assume that it is a puppet that is being controlled by a third party, and similar to like the way that Push is,
or like R2 more recently. Yeah.
There is a chance that it is instead tied. It's an animatronic tied to the voice commands of Mando.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not going to be a direct voice character. You're not going to be able to talk to Mando. It's going to be like Iron Man or something. Like he's going to have all the finger triggers, and he'll be able to set things off. And I'm sure that there are conversation paths. There, exactly. There are conversation paths that involve Grogu, and I'm sure he can cover them up and uncover him, like when stormtroopers are around or the First Order, which doesn't make any sense. Well,
no, that's another thing to talk about, Dan. I believe I was talking about this. With the lovely people who got us into the panel. Is this the beginning of the decanonization of Galaxy's Edge? Because Grogu, it's been like 30, 40 years in between Mandalorian and episode, what is it, 7?
Yeah, it might happen, dude. We might get a franchisation.
Which I think would be great. I would love to meet a Luke Skywalker walk-around character and a Ahsoka Tano walk-around character. Are you kidding me, Dan?
Yeah, that would be really cool. That's not going to happen, but it would be really cool.
You don't think it's going to happen?
Well, I think it might happen if Disney was wise and
if Disney was smart.
But it takes it takes a lot of makeup work to do like a good convincing Ahsoka, and so that's something that I could see it for parties. I could see it like if there were special events. That's the thing Galaxy's Edge should be doing, is hosting
more Star Wars
Oogie Boogie Bash kind of stuff in the parks with specific character. You close off both ends, put a ton of stormtroopers there, like at both ends of the thing, and it's like a ticketed thing or something.
Oh man, that'd be so cool.
It'd be super cool.
It's like Galaxy's Edge weekends, like new Star Wars weekends. Yeah, you could have a prequel night, have a sequel night, have an OT night. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah. And then we got a Hulk announcement, which is great.
I think he looked really good. I talked to some Imagineers who worked on it, who also watch our stuff. If you're watching this, hello, thank you for your work. My only thing about him is his arms looked a little wacky, but I think Hulk looked great.
Yeah, so he doesn't look great on a stage with a black background. Like with spotlights on him and stuff. Yeah. Like he was not in his environment. The best he looked actually is when he was walking out through the fog, which is something that I think you can anticipate from the meet and greet experience in the parks, is that he's going to be more tastefully lit. He's going to be in an environment that actually sells the illusion way more than where he was.
True. He was just on a stage instead of being because he's wearing, for those of you who didn't see, he's wearing his Avengers Endgame quantum suit. So his face is covered.
Yeah,
except for like his eyes right here.
Yeah, his eyes and stuff, which is smart because again, this is an Avengers campus. We strive for hyperrealism with lookalikes. There aren't costume characters that you can meet. It's not like Mirabelle. We were talking about this in the parks. It's not like Mirabelle or or Ariel or something like that, where we have a face and we're trying to replicate that.
I mean, yeah, they're just people. So yeah, it would be easier.
And so putting the Hulk in like a mask, like we do with Ant-Man and the Wasp and stuff. It really works to sell it. It really does.
I don't know why there's another option where they could have just done like the torn shorts Hulk, and just had him.
I don't think the skin would have looked. I don't think the skin would have looked good. I don't think that would have played.
Okay.
I don't think that would have looked good. I think that we would have been way less forgiving than we are now. And they're probably going to put him where the zombie cap is,
right at the Avengers,
there's a corner. There's a meet and greet corner. Yeah. Right. They're probably going to put him there because when he's in a corner, you're not going to see the weirdness of like how his arms don't rest like normal arms.
Yeah,
like
he's very C-3PO.
Right. Yeah. So the way that they're going to place him and like use him, I imagine is going to sell really, really well in the parks. But it didn't look great. But I talked to the Imagineers, and what's super cool about that suit is that the performer inside bears 0 weight. All of the weight is redistributed through the stilt system, so that the performer inside is literally like one of those like mechs in Avatar.
It's so
where like
cool.
he's like moving around and he doesn't have any strain. It's all counterweighted.
It's so well done. They talked about it at Destination D about how he was wearing, I think, the Wampa version of it where it's like all white fur. And yeah, they were talking about how it takes all the weight off of them and just puts it straight to the ground because just the way it's all distributed. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. Did the Wampa ever come to the parks? I don't think
No, it didn't. No, Hulk is the first. It's like Project something. I can't remember what it's called. But Hulk is the first.
Project
Exo is the first iteration we're seeing in the parks of a character from Project Exo. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we'll see more of it soon. Honestly.
Oh, I know we will. I'm within a year or so, we're gonna see more. 100%.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, let's talk about.
I'm sure we'll see it in a parade before we. I'm sure that will be very, very much
in a controlled environment, more controlled.
Yeah.
We're getting a Dim Tai Fung in downtown Disney, which is
I don't know
fun.
what that is.
I've never been. We're getting a Portos, which I had the pastries from that they gave us.
They gave us a box of pastries that didn't last all of 3. Well, I had a Figment with me, so it's just like, well, I have 3 pastries and a bat. I just like left the poster and stuff out for people, and I just took the Lena Bell.
Speaking of the poster.
I took the Lena Bell pin.
Yeah, I have it all over here.
I just took the sweet treats and just I ate them like Cookie Monster. It was wild.
It must be a Southern California thing because people were going berserk for these pastries, and I was like,
well, they were good.
They're fine. They're good. Maybe it's because we didn't get them fresh or something, but they were good. I don't know if it'd be worth going berserk over, but. Who am I to judge? Well, I'll wait till it actually opens, and then maybe I'll go, and maybe it'll be delicious.
Yeah,
but no, back to Avengers Campus real quick. I got so excited on day one because they announced, yes, the Avengers e-ticket is happening. I was like,
at the Legends panel. They did a Parks announcement at the Legends panel. That's right.
It was really interesting, but it's changed. So before it was the Avengers Quinjet, which was like sort of dark ride, sort of flight of passage, individual flight. Very interesting. I don't know what that was going to be, but that's gone now. They're not doing that.
If I remember correctly, it was going to be more along the lines of, well, Soarin', the way that Flight of Passage stepped up Soarin' is that you felt like you were on your own individual ride in Flight of Passage because of the goggles.
This was supposed to step up Flight of Passage even more for you being in your own thing. Yeah.
Right. And so I think that the story was going to be very similar to Forbidden Journey, where you were like on an enchanted where you're on like a magic Iron Man bench. That would move you around and fight for you and stuff like that. And now they same concept,
full dark ride,
but same concept. But now it's just Doctor Strange. No, I think it's going to be the same exact ride system.
You think it's going to be the same?
Yes, I think it's going to be another Flight of Passage because it's not a big building to make a Flight of Passage.
Yeah, they show off the ride vehicle in the concept art, and it does sort of look like it may be able to split apart. I don't know. I think. I'm going the route of Marvel Rise of the Resistance. I know some people are saying it's a screen-based ride, like the Spider-Man ride at Universal that I've never been on.
It
Something
is so
like that.
1,000% going to be a screen-based ride.
I know it's.
Did they show the ride vehicle in the concept art?
They did. I don't have the poster anymore. They did. It looked very similar to Rise. You never know until they give us more. They showed off
love a dark
bearded Thanos. So this is from an alternate universe where Thanos won, which I guess you could. It's also the mainline MCU.
It's not just where he won,
Dallin.
He won ringed. All right, this is Lord Sauron.
He's got his Sauron crown on. It's amazing.
Yeah, Lord Sauron.
I actually think he looks great. And it's a multiverse ride, so you have every version of every hero. Every version. You know what?
Give me Project Exo King Thanos.
I think we're gonna see Thanos more sooner rather than later. I think we're gonna see Thanos at Avengers Campus for sure.
Yeah, I imagine now that Project Exo's working, I think that it's actually going to happen.
We thought because he's gonna be there tomorrow. So.
They early on in the thing, they talked about Disneyland a little bit, and they're like, but we'll get to Disneyland later, right? What else? They announced the new ship. That was cool. We don't have to talk about that.
Disney Treasure.
Yeah. What was the thing they ultimately announced for Disneyland at the end? Was it just the Dim Tai
I think
Fung?
it was the Christian rock nighttime show.
Wondrous was the thing. Yeah, Wondrous, Christian rock. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The song felt very
Chapel Rocky. Wondrous.
He's wondrous, Dan. He is wondrous. We're talking about SEA member Jesus here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At all times.
Can we canonize Jesus? I'd like to do a video on is Jesus Disney theme park canon? We need to do it together.
Mansion at least. And if the Haunted Mansion is SEA canon, then Jesus is also SEA canon.
Right. Oh, there is canon connecting Haunted Mansion to SEA, right? Yeah.
Yeah. George Hightower, unless you ask the people at the panel, which in their case they would say, well, it's just a very common last name. Hightower. It's a very common last name.
No, Dallin, what they would say is Google it, because that's what they told us at the part of the panel. They're like,
apparently they said just watch offhand Disney stuff. He'll tell you all about it.
They literally did. Yeah.
I appreciate the plug though, Disney. Just hire me. I'll do it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What else? What else?
It's
what else
Dan.
we got?
It's Dan.
Let's talk about what may or may not happen eventually, never, or soon.
Oh my God, Dallin, have you ever wondered? Hey guys, have you ever wondered what's behind this set? No, you haven't. Of course you haven't, because that's not something we have been. Because we're not taught to be curious, because Christianity just teaches us to just conform and believe. Mm-hmm. So no, I have never wondered what was behind Big Thunder. I've been back there. It's called cast parking.
Well, I was like, have you guys ever wondered what's behind Big Thunder Mountain? I was like, no, not really. I just wish you would connect it maybe to a loop to the Haunted Mansion or something. That way I can just not have to completely stop and turn around and go all the way back through Frontierland. But now, Dan, did you ever think that maybe Coco is behind Big Thunder Mountain? Maybe a little bit of Encanto? Or perhaps, you go south from the frontier, you get to Mexico. You go even further south than that, get to Colombia. You go even further south from Colombia, and you arrive at the Villain's Dark Kingdom.
Right. And that really, and I mean, if you really want to encourage like a build the wall chant, that's the way to do it, because you build an extra land at Disney World that literally is South Americans, and then behind the South Americans you build a villain land. Like, what message are you sending? Honest to God, that is the stupidest. I mean, it's not the stupidest thing I heard, but I mean, hey, it's pretty close.
Dark Kingdom is brilliant, and I think they should go with that over Coco or Encanto. But
right, well, especially because at Disneyland, at Disney World, like I would love to see let's go all the way around the lagoon and build a villain's land that ties directly into the Haunted Mansion.
It's a great way to transition between those two lands. Amazing.
Yeah. So if that's the story, if we're going to do like some kind of we're going to turn in Disney World, we're going to turn like that whole thing into like a big loop that you can work here. You can go all the way around Tom Sawyer's Island.
It's already sort of started with Big Thunder Mountain too, because it's about this abandoned Wild West ghost town. The trains are haunted. There are ghosts driving the trains. That's the story of Big Thunder Mountain. It all works
Really?
I think they should
didn't
do
know that there were spooky ghosts driving the train.
Look up the story, the story of Big Thunder Mountain, offhand Disney. He'll talk about it. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, and we're losing a mountain with Splash Mountain because we didn't call it Tiana's Bayou Mountain or whatever.
Not because I'm sad to see it go. I'm excited for Tiana's. I think it's going to be great, but I still will be calling it Splash Mountain just out of the knee-jerk, like, that's what I've been calling it this long. I don't know if Tiana's Bayou Adventure necessarily rolls off the tongue as well, is the thing.
No.
Horrible name. I still think they should change it.
Neither does Alien Swirling Saucers or whatever, you know? Or Galaxy's Edge... Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Rise of the Resistance, you know.
Wait, is that what its full name is?
Yeah, it is, dude.
That's so funny. Because I don't call it New Orleans Square, Disney's New Orleans Square, the Haunted Mansion, you know? Disney's New Orleans Square presents the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Man, when the park spin was over, you just left and you were just like,
I did. Haunted. I went to the park.
You were haunted.
I got out of there. Yeah, and then so there was another blue sky thing they talked about with we're going a little long, but I like this about Animal Kingdom and Dino Land specifically, about how I get the Moana aspect. It's about humans' relationship with nature, which Pandora is also very much about. Zootopia, I don't really understand. One, they shouldn't put a police chase attraction in Animal Kingdom. Horrible idea. Two, it's a human. They've said multiple times, it's a very human story that's just told through this world of animals. It's about humanity. It's about our modern.
And also, go watch it. It does not. It has not aged well. But I think that the Moana thing is way further along than we think it is. Like that concept art's real.
I think they should. That they have a flat. Throwback to earlier in the episode when we were talking about flat rides. They have a flat ride that's a rethemed Triceratops spin that's Kakamora themed.
Which we already did with Emotional Whirlwind. You know, like they ship off the shells and they just retheme them and ship them back, you know?
Good idea, honestly. Go for it. More flat rides are totally okay by me. They also have Splash Mountain 2 starring Moana.
Yeah, I think that's cool, actually.
I think they should
Moana Mountain, like, I was just thinking the other day, like, why doesn't every park have a log flume? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, Epcot kind of has one with Frozen, but, like, and Universal, Hollywood Studios
and Living with the
one.
Land, of course. Yeah, the big drop in Living with the Land.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Maelstrom, you get wet on Maelstrom, though. Like, you can get wet on
Sometimes, Maelstrom is gone, Dan.
Well,
Maelstrom is gone. No, I've gotten soaked on Frozen Ever After before. It's crazy. I think every ride should, every park should have a log flume. It's a win-win. People love it. It's a great idea to just get people, like, cool them off in a hot day, and they get an amazing dark ride along with it. Like, I would be okay with that, honestly.
Steam them up, cool them off.
Steam them up and cool them off. That's the strategy.
Yeah, that's a strategy. But if you look at that concept, though, that's a very realized thing. Like, I would put money on the fact that that's happening. Honestly,
Dan, I hope you're right. That's all I can say. I hope you're right.
I'm sure that the Zootopia aspect of it will be cut.
I hope so.
I
don't think it belongs in Animal Kingdom, and I don't say that. I don't say that often. Everyone, you know, I'm a Disney shill. You know, I'm like every time they announce something, I'm like, oh, this is looking good. I don't think Zootopia belongs in Animal Kingdom. It shouldn't be at Animal Kingdom. No. Just because they happen to be animals, it doesn't mean it fits in story-wise. I don't think it does.
They're just talking about retheming Dino Land. There's still that dig thing, right?
The Boneyard?
Yeah, the Boneyard. So, like, keep Dinosaur, keep the Boneyard, like, have that be a buffer before you get into fantasy again. But, like, I would love a splash. I was thinking about, like, a Moana drop ride where, it actually has the most perfect story if you get trapped in the monster realm. And then the big drop is you launching back out of the monster. You know what I mean? Like you being shot back into the real world, and then you really land. Cool. Yeah. If you could do some really disorienting, cool stuff.
I say a lot of potential. with that monster realm and the look
with a
like
big Tamatoa. Imagine like a huge golden imagine like a laughing place, but it's like you're circling around a big crab, and it's a giant disco ball. It's like, I'm so shiny, you know. And then it's like, and then Maui jumps. He's like, all right, we got to get you guys out of here, Yahoo! And then
you go down the drop.
He hits the log with his thing, you know. You put him where the vultures are, you know. And he like, whoa! And then you go up the thing, and you're out of the monster realm. I think that has a lot of potential. Actually,
I think they should. I think that's out of all the things I saw besides maybe the Avengers e-ticket, which I I don't know a lot about, but if it's what I'm hoping it is, then it looks great. It looks great. I'm hoping that Moana log flume happens. That it's like that in the Avengers e-ticket. But that's about it, right? That's about all we got. We got some expansion on the international parks with like Frozen and Fantasy Springs and whatnot.
Who cares?
But what else? Yeah,
we saw an Elsa animatronic, and they're like, if you'll notice, and if you'll notice, she's speaking in a different language.
What, in the park where people speak a different language?
What the Hong Kong or the Paris or the Chinese Elsa speaks differently?
Dan, can we go back to Splash Mountain for a second so we could talk about Mist?
Oh my God, we forgot to talk about Mist. All right, it's Foolish Mortals After Dark. Activate the Mist.
Nothing got me more worried about the Princess and the Frog ride than how long they dedicated to talking about Mist, Dan.
Yeah, well, I think that they were definitely pitching like what's going to happen in the quote unquote laughing place, you know?
Right.
Like there's going to be it's going to be a light show. It's going to be like a mini World of Color. If I anticipate anything, they're just going to like really lean into all that dumb stuff that they do. Hang lots of glass bottles, lots of animatronics. It's going to be a big celebration. It's going to be fun.
I hope so.
But there are big empty sections of those rides, like
especially Disneyland Splash Mountain, absolutely. Yeah,
where they're like, we got to fill this area with something. They're like, well, just we love a Mist, Dallin. Don't forget Blackbeard and Davy Jones, the Pirates Mist.
I
like that Pirates.
I'm happy that's gone. I hated that.
You are? No, man. If anything, keep Davy Jones up, but a Blackbeard Mist. Are you kidding me? No, I don't disagree, sir. Disagree. Bring back the Mist. Like that. When you pass through the ethereal face of Shane what's Shane?
Ian McShane, Blackbeard.
When you pass through the spooky pirate face of Ian McShane, when you get Ian McShane Mist, Ian McMist, thank you for this mistiness. I am sold. Give me your Ian McMist.
I'm out. You lost me.
Or your Bill Misty, right?
Bill Misty.
Yeah, because he's Bill Nye. You know what I mean?
I kind of see Billy Nye, Billy Mist.
But, you know what? We ended the night on Sunday with the OG Mist, Phantasmic.
Oh, we were in the splash zone for that one too.
Oh yeah, well the wind was blowing in just the right way for us to get the sulfury tingles. It's when the water from the River of America gets on you, it's kind of like Pop Rocks, but instead of your mouth, it's on your skin.
I love it because Splash Mountain Pirates, you get splashed. That's brominated water. It's clean. This is river water.
This is river water. It's full of like the propane that they inject into it to like light it on fire. It's full of like debris and refuse and trash. Yeah. It's also full of all like the sulfury dregs of like the firework explosions.
It's and
then it's like algae and duck poop.
It's a 4D
and you're just like psh, oh yeah, Monstro, Chernabog. I'm so surprised that it's in California. I'm so surprised that the show doesn't start with "Welcome to Phantasmic." Before your eyes, Mickey Mouse is about to blast you with harmful chemicals that may cause cancer. You know how like that is? I'm surprised there was like the mist walls don't come up and it's just like one of those like cigarette pack warnings that's just like, warning, observing this show may cause cancer or birth defects, They
have to put a disclaimer before the show on the water mist balls. I would love that so much. That's so great.
If you're reading this, it may be too late. We have already aerated the disease. Oh! You know what?
Yeah, because they're already blowing the mist at you.
It's too late. It's too late. You know what ride could use some mist?
What's that?
Living with the Land.
I think Living with the Land could use a lot of mist. And I see someone, JCraig50 in the chat, says mist-based ride is better than screen-based ride, which I guess I would agree with, yes.
What about a screen-based ride, but all of the screens, you know where I'm going with this, Dallin, all of the screens are projected on mist. Imagine if Fast and the Furious at Universal
was a water screen.
Was a mist party ride. I'm sold, man. I would have missed it up with Vinny D.
I'm in.
Yeah, of course you're in, man. Of course you're in. You're not a coward.
The mist now.
Yeah, of course you're in. Yeah, you're in here for the mist.
Oh man.
When they showed the mist at the convention, like they showed this, like they were playing a video of like just like this like of like this thing, but then occasionally, I don't know if you like if anyone like rewatches the clip, occasionally like someone's hand would like reach up into the mist or like a head. Like they filmed it on someone's iPhone, this whole mist thing.
And you could
but I'm
see,
like you could see people like interacting with it. And I'm like, are they doing it live in the space? Like it was such a weird, you know what I mean? Like it's such a freaking weird transition. I'm like, what is happening? You know?
I think I would have felt better if maybe they gave us a demonstration, but I was like, no, they got to do it in a controlled environment in the ride. But wait a second, there are log flumes passing through there all the time. I don't know if that's any more of a controlled environment than having everyone seated very far away from the stage to show off the mist. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So okay, let's wrap it up. Parks panels, what are your thoughts? If this is what they had, here's my thoughts before you speak. If this is what Disney has to compete with Epic Universe, I'm worried.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm not worried because Disney's got the nostalgia factor, and
I'm still gonna go to Disney over
Universal
6 out of 7 days of the week. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Disney Parks has Gen X and has Boomer nostalgia to really milk itself for a while.
Yeah.
But Universal is really pivoting hard into millennials. To millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah.
And so they will have and as long as I think Disney's got like another decade to like really step it up and turn something else out so that they can generate nostalgia for the next generation, we'll get there. What do you think there is going to be? Are you talking Fifth Gate or are you talking like major park expansions? Or are you talking new resort? What's there? What's there for you? I don't know. I think that the Galaxy's Edge, the Galactic Star Cruiser with the Galaxy's Edge, like I think that's all fascinating and was a really great play test for a lot of stuff. And I think that now we can go do some more interesting stuff with it.
Let's hope. Maybe next D23.
Yeah, maybe next D20. Well, I think that also what they did though was tee it up so that at the next D23, they're like, this is open, this is open, this is open, this is open. Because they didn't announce anything new. They just announced all the stuff that they're working on.
Yeah.
And kind of updated us on it. So that by the time we get to the next D23 and they're like, and so that hopefully they'll be like, and now next year, this will be open. And the next, I wish that they would actually keep some stuff in their pocket like Universal does, and like they're almost doing with the tree. Although look at what we did with the tree. We're all like, "Where's the tree update?" We can't have any patience.
Tree update, everyone. This just in news about the tree.
Yeah, no news.
No, the news is there is no news. I think you're right. I've the main counter argument I've heard for how lackluster the parks panel was is, are you expecting them to announce a brand new land, a brand new park every 2 years? And no, I'm not expecting them to do that, obviously. But I feel like after the announcement of Epic Universe, after COVID shut down for a while, I feel like they needed to do more this year, and they just didn't do enough. And yes, I am mad about the People Mover. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm so.
You really lost out on that, didn't you?
Dan, I didn't lose out on that. We all lost out on that.
You're saying the people lost
Humanity, not people. Humanity as a whole is
lost out.
Has lost out because of that.
Wow. Well, there you go.
There you have it.
Those sad final words from Dallin.
Yeah, we'll end it on a high note. I've never been more upset in my life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fandom World 88. Your words are very kind. I talked about this. People are coming up to me like my loved one had died and being like, I'm so sorry for your loss. Really my condolences.
Yeah, they really were. Yeah.
And I appreciated that because it did hurt. It hurt.
It did hurt. I set my own expectations high and they were crushed, and I only have myself to blame.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of your apologies. I appreciate all your condolences
for
my self-inflicted wound.
I have no one to blame but myself.
I Harry carried over top of the People Mover, and they had to drag my body out of the parks panel. So.
Yep, and it all for naught. All for naught.
Yeah, someone in the chat's like, that's why we only got one D23 video from Offhand. Is like, he ran. Dude,
go ahead.
Ran out of steam fast, man.
I did. Well, I got the day one video out, and I was like, okay, we'll do day two. And so I did day two. I was filming and editing. I was like, okay, I will upload this on day 3 because I was kind of doing it like after each day. So day 1 video was on day 2. Day 2 video was going to be on day 3. And then day 3 happened and I said, you know what? No, I need to go big or go home with this video. So it's done. It's on my computer. Patreon patrons can watch it right now. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can watch it after this podcast. Be sure to stay till the end. But it's up there. I talk ad nauseum about the People Mover and my thoughts on the Parks panel.
You heard it here first.
Check it out. Dan, thank you for joining me in this long rant. Looking back, no, it was. Never mind. The more I think about it, the less I want to think about it. So,
we had fun though.
D23 was so fun. Everyone we met, everything we did,
really cool.
Best part. I say it. This is a good thing. Getting stopped like every 2 seconds on the show floor was my favorite part because I just loved talking with people.
It really was.
It was amazing.
It was really fun talking to you. And what's amazing is how much that drains you, though. Because you really want to give everyone a good experience.
Sure.
You really want to be respectable to everyone. You want to be like, yeah, you're here. You're my fan. I adore you. Thank you for adoring me. So you really want to be present with every single person. And that's cool and all. But when it becomes 3 days, Dallin, how many pictures do you think you took?
Dan, that says a lot about you because my fans give me energy. They don't sap my energy. So I can't.
No, it's not about sapping energy. It's just about I'm a human man. I'm not an animal.
Can't relate. But no, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, but so many lovely people. What were you saying? How many pictures were taken? A lot of pictures. And I love taking pictures of people.
I took 300 pictures.
Like I said, I just love talking with people who watch our stuff because they get it.
Had so much fun talking to all of you. It was learning, hearing your stories, hearing what you thought was funny, what you like about our videos. It's actually really inspiring. It's really helpful.
All of this, I didn't even go for the panels or anything. This was just a data collection thing for both of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually agree. That's the only reason why I came. It was a fan expo, and we wanted to give you guys, the fans.
Yeah, this wasn't for us. This was for you. And also, for our data collection purposes. So thank you for watching Foolish Data Collectors, everyone.
Dude, we did an hour 30.
It's because we had a lot to talk about. This was a big one. We
did. We had a lot to talk about. Well, there you go.
Next week, what do you say we just head back to the mansion next week? It's been a while. It's Foolish Mortals. We haven't talked about the mansion in a while.
We can talk about it
specifically
because there's the Haunted Mansion holiday. Let's talk about that next week.
There's a couple D23 announcements they also mentioned.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Mansion. Yeah,
Jamie
let's do
Lee.
It. Old Hattie Box too.
I feel it was just like some executives hey, that one yogurt lady, she's known for doing those Halloween movies.
The digestion yogurt lady.
Yeah, and we've got a movie that's spooky coming, so let's get her on the phone.
Put her on. What's she gonna do? Ride in on a doom buggy in the movie or in the panel? Just do it.
I'd like to see a Jordan Peele Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah, well, I've seen this last. Have you seen Barbarian? That's by Zach Kreger. He's a comedian turned horror person as well. I think those kinds of people, Jordan Peele, those kind of people who are start in comedy or do comedy and also do horror, I feel could make a pretty decent Haunted Mansion movie because that's what the mansion is.
That's what it needs.
It's scary comedy.
It's scary fun. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hurry back.
Hurry back, everybody. Just hurry back.
Get back here.
Just hurry. Get it on back. Come on. Hurry back.
If you took pictures of us, send them to us. We want to see them.
Yes.
Tag us. Send them. And
I'm still hitchhiking. Dan gave up.
Well, I got to turn the stream off, bro. You're representing. I'm over here.
All right. I'll carry the Foolish Mortals. Here we go. And good night.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.